Hello, and welcome to the podcast that knows, despite the push notifications we get all day telling us that the world is burning down around us, there is still good being created in the world, and we want to highlight it. Whether it's nonprofit leaders solving the world's biggest problems or a small business owner trying to make the world better with a great product or service, we want to highlight the ideas and strategies behind the good that's being made. So without further ado, you're listening to Creating Good, a podcast by Rogue Creatives hosted by me, Matt Barnes. Let's go! Well, hello, and welcome to a new episode of Creating Good with Matt Barnes. I'm Matt Barnes. Today, you may have noticed we've been gone for a little bit, a couple weeks, and that is on me. I've had some things going on. My dad, it's weird to get to this age where your parents, they start to get sick or they start to get old, and my dad was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia a few years ago, and watching that progress has been very rough. If you don't know much about that disease, it is a pretty terrible one. It's kind of a mix of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and we've had to put him on hospice, and so I've been spending a lot of time there and thinking a lot about him and his legacy. And I'm sure I will have more to say about this at some point, but my dad, I am who I am. I do what I do because of him. And the example that he set for me, he was always looking for, how do I use what I have to make the world better? How do I make life more enjoyable, not just for myself, but for other people? And I saw that constantly in every area of life. And he would team up with people and he would work with people on different things. And he never started a nonprofit. He never did anything like that. He was a businessman, though not probably what popped into your head when you hear me say businessman. His idea, he always said the most successful man in the room is the one in shorts and a t-shirt, because he can be. And he was always in shorts and a t-shirt. I remember he bought a suit once because for a wedding, and he was like, that's the only suit. That was the only suit he had. That was not his life. But he showed me that even the small things we do, even the work that we do, the people we interact with at work, at home, anywhere, we can make a difference in their lives and make an impact. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why creating good is so important to me. At a time when the world feels like it sucks a lot and everything's falling apart, we need people who are dedicated to adding to the world, not just taking from it, to making it better, not just for themselves, but for others. And that's what creating good's all about. That's what this movement's all about. That's what this podcast is all about. And so, for me, this whole movement, this whole thing with creating good is really a result of my dad. You're listening to this because of him. I definitely would not be doing this. I would not be the person that I am today without him. And we can all do more. And that doesn't necessarily mean crazy big things that are, exhausting or whatever. It's just the intentionality of using our lives to create good, make people happier, make people smile, add to their lives, add to the world. And, the values of creating good, of showing love, being kind, staying curious, keeping your cool, and having fun. Those come straight from him, straight from my dad. That's what I learned from him. I mean, amongst other things, but those are the things, and those are the things I want to pass on to my kids, and those are the things I want to share with the world. And that's what we do. We here on the podcast, we interview people who are creating good in the world, who are using what they have to create good in some way. And I hope that somehow that is able to be a tribute to him. And I wish that he could hear this and appreciate, be a part of creating good, because I think he would appreciate it so much. But it is definitely his legacy, not mine. This is, this is something he started in me. And so, to my dad, Gerald Barnes, the original, the OG, he's just the best. And he is the inspiration for all of us. Today we have a great guy on the podcast. His name is Stewart Cohen. He is the owner of Stewart Cohen Pictures and All Canada Photos. This is these are sites for stock video and photography, and this is a perfect example of somebody who saw potential, saw what he could do and his resources, and put them to use for creating good in the world. And this, I really enjoyed my conversation with Stewart. To be honest, there were even parts of it I remember when I was talking with him that reminded me of my dad. And so come back in a second after this brief message and hear from Stewart Cohen. He's got some great insights and I think challenges, and in a good way, not bad challenges. I don't know why when I hear challenges, I always think, but ways to kind of push us all to consider how we could create good in the world. All right. Stewart Cohen, thank you for joining me on the podcast today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Matt. I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh, of course. I was, love getting to know new people. I like, you gotta, people listening obviously can't see this. This is not a visual medium, but you got a cool background. You got a lot going on here. You got a bunch of awards and a big pic. Is that your family or over there?
No. No, that's some of our work. Yeah, if that was my family, I'd be in trouble. Yeah, so we're this is our lounge at the studio.
Nice.
So
it's beautiful.
We have a production company, and we have a big loft in Dallas.
Very
and it was
cool.
actually the first loft conversion in the city. And it's a long time ago, of course, the building was. And we've kind of taken over a lot of it as our offices and studio.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, before we jump into everything, we always start with 3 random questions to kind of break the ice and see how you do. Can you handle it?
Yeah, I'm in. Go,
all right, Stewart, here we go. We got a bunch of random questions. We randomly chose 3. Here's what they are. What is the first thing you do in the morning?
Oh, well, I walk downstairs, make coffee, and look at my email.
There you go. That's
every day.
The coffee thing is pretty standard across the board, I find.
And then sometimes if I start the coffee and then go to my home office, I mean, sometimes it's a half hour before I get sucked into a page, and then
of course. All right. Question number 2. What is your there's a difference between best and favorite. We're going with favorite movie of all time.
Ooh.
Or a favorite. You don't have to choose.
Right at the top of my head, I'm thinking Almost Famous.
That's a great one. That's a great movie.
Loved it. Yeah.
Great movie. Okay. And then what is your go-to karaoke song?
Always a good one. Go-to karaoke. God, what's it been lately? Ooh, dude. I mean, for a while it was Roxanne. I guess I'd probably
Yeah.
Because my voice is I do not have a good voice.
You don't have to. That's the beauty of it.
Exactly.
I like that your answer was, what has it been lately? Like because you're doing this enough that you have that's great. Because some people are like, oh, I've never done karaoke before, or I don't do that very often. No. Or I'm like, come on, man, get up on stage. Let's go.
Everyone needs a good karaoke song.
Yes, definitely. All right, you have survived 3 random questions. Now we get to dive into your story. What is the Stewart Cohen origin story? Where did you begin your journey, and where has that brought you to?
I could give you the quick
Sure.
origin story. I grew up in Montreal, Canada.
Okay.
Moved to the States to go to school at UT Austin,
Okay.
which was great. And from there, that's when I decided I wanted to be in the photo biz at first. So I went off and became a photo assistant for a variety of photographers, and ended up in London, and then then I ended up back in Dallas, and then I went to film school at USC
Oh,
in
nice.
California. And then I got my last job as a photo assistant working for Helmut Newton, who was a big time guy,
Yeah.
and who I really didn't. I got the call as a recommendation from somebody, and I really did not know his work very well. I had
Oh,
to go to a
nice.
bookstore, and this is before the internet. I had to go to a bookstore and look at his work, and I'm like, "Ooh, man, this guy is out there." And it turned out that he was the nicest, most charming, down to earth person that I ever had as a mentor, and he's the one that really helped shape my life.
Oh, that's awesome. What
Yeah.
did you learn from him? Like, what were some of the big takeaways?
Well, prior to that, I had worked with a lot of guys that were big time advertising photographers, and there was a lot of ego involved in a lot of some of this stuff, and and sometimes some behavior which wasn't very nice.
Sure.
And here it was like Helmut Newton, who was really a legend, and he was the most charming, down to earth person that everybody loved. And what I learned is, well, you don't need to be a big mouth egomaniac,
Yeah.
ass
Yeah.
to succeed. And that just learning that sentence really changed my whole career.
That'll do it. I mean, it's amazing
Yeah,
how many people have not learned that lesson. And,
that's true. And yeah, yeah,
but I also think there's something to that ties in somewhere with loving what you do and really enjoying it, because I feel like people who enjoy what they do, they're not there's nothing to take out on other people, you know what I mean? It
no, that's true.
it
That's true.
it feels like a lot of those people that I've met that they're very successful but they're just rude, or they're just, and I'm like, but you don't seem happy. You don't seem like you're enjoying what you do, even though maybe you're really good at it. It's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started my own thing, and it's been in my own biz ever since. And actually, like you like to say, you're from the last century.
Yeah.
Um, so I started out shooting stills, and then, of course, with the film education, started doing commercials, like when we were still shooting on film, the end of the 1990s,
Yeah.
like really at tail end, call it 2000. So really, since then, I've been shooting still photography for um, ad agencies and corporations all over the world, as well as doing commercials for them. And my whole thing for years was I was always trying to get the whole project.
Yeah.
I wanted to do the TV and the print. And for years, as you know, like the broadcast department and the print department never talked to one another.
Yeah.
And people said, well, your print doesn't look like your TV, or your TV doesn't look like your print. And I would only get one or the other. Like,
Mm.
some people knew me for TV, some people knew me for print. So, of course, in the last 10 years, I mean, the worlds have truly, truly converged.
Yeah.
And the majority of everything we touch, we do both live
Yeah.
action and stills. And
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah. And it's so much, to me as a creative, it's more fulfilling because it drives me insane when we get hired to do one piece of it and somebody else is doing another piece, and then I see the final result and I'm like, that's not cohesive. Like, it's like, why would you choose to do something, like, even if it's in the same ballpark, you get like, no, that doesn't, yeah, whereas if you're kind of can see the bigger picture and hold everything together.
And I am totally with you on that. And there have been times that there are guys standing right next to me shooting, and I see what came out of their camera, and I'm like, dude, we were in the same room. What is this? You know? And and
Yeah.
but I guess that's our own internal ego talking. It's like, but so
Well, some of it's ego, some of it's also just vision. And I've had some definitely where it's a different quality, but then sometimes it's like, no, that's good. It just doesn't match what we're doing. Like, we're doing this,
right,
you're
right.
doing that. They don't go together. Why would we do like that's just strategically
Sure.
stupid.
That makes sense.
You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean,
Totally
and
makes
but
sense.
then there's other times where, yeah, you're like, "Oh, we had a client once where, um, they had somebody offer them free photography services because it was a nonprofit, and, we're doing all the design and stuff, and we're like, "This would be much easier if we were doing the photography as well." But okay, we get it, nonprofit, you got it offered for free, but it turns out the guy that offered it had only ever done studio portrait photography, and we're doing, outdoor, lifestyle stuff, and it's
Right.
very flat, it's very, and I'm like, "Well, that's because that's what he does." He doesn't shoot this
Yeah.
this way, and so it just, even in the end, the client finally was like, "Yeah, I think we need to just pay you guys instead of take the free thing just because it's not," I'm like, "If you need
Yeah.
headshots, go to him." I'm sure he
Right,
does a
right,
great
right.
job with that, but this is just
Yeah.
not his that's not what he does. Um
Exactly.
and I'm a big believer in, do what you do. And you can do more than one thing, but find the things that you do well and do it. And I think so much of the conversation around creating good and what creating like good in our lives looks like keeps coming back to this idea of understanding who you are, what you're capable of, what you're good at, what you're not, self-awareness, all of those kind of things. And the more that you do that, the more that the best way to create good in the world is to offer yourself what you have. But if
Right.
if you don't know what that is, then how can you do that? So with you, like you got all this amazing training from and mentorship from, a great um and then took that and you've applied it in different ways. Now you've got two different organizations, yes?
I do.
With
So early in my career, I learned about licensing,
Mhm.
and I learned about relicensing the work that you previously created or relicensing work that you've done on your own,
Yeah.
that was not done originally from a client. And this was back in the day when Getty Images was just really rolling up the industry.
Right.
And so I kind of got wrapped up in that world and I did pretty well with it and ended up fast forward 20 years helping a stock agency that really had fallen on hard times, which was an old, very successful one called superstock.com.
Mhm.
And it had fallen on hard times. And I vowed because I love the archive. They had a lot of vintage work and just
Mm.
I love pictures.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm gonna put some money and some tech behind it, and I'm gonna try to resurrect this brand. And so I have been aggressively trying to resurrect the brand for 6 years now,
Okay.
and we have it. We got it in a good place. Of course, we're now fighting a challenging market in that, there's downward price pressure in licensing
Sure.
fees, and there's a proliferation of content, of course, coming out there. But I still like it because we've acquired a bunch of vintage archives,
Oh, that's cool.
and I feel like those are timeless.
Yeah.
And so I'm enjoying it. It's still part of my DNA. It's what I love.
Yeah.
When I took it over, we started to do video clips, licensed video clips as well.
Mhm.
And now we manage and license 26 million clips, like
Wow.
stills and or video clips,
Wow.
and some illustrations, some fine art. And it's kind of fun. It's really rounded out my, I think my being, as a visual communicator.
Yeah.
You get so wrapped up in what you do, but now it's like I have a broader sense of what's out there.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's great, and you'll love this, I have a real time feed of everything that gets licensed
Oh,
from the
nice.
company.
Yeah.
And when I tell you the stuff that gets licensed is so random and across the board. And it's fascinating to me because I realize, okay, I should have really pursued this even harder because there's stuff. I mean, this is an etching of that was, originally made in 1898, or here's a picture from 1943 of a,
Right.
of a mom feeding a kid breakfast or a picture of a DeLorean,
Yeah.
it's all over the place.
Sure.
And I'm like, first of all, who are all these people licensing this? So it's good. It is good. It shows me, it gives me faith that there's people doing some really interesting things.
Yeah, yeah, we do some, licensing of, our aerial cinematography stuff, and it's always fascinating to see who licenses it and where they how they're using it, where they're using it, um, how they even how even bigger productions will sometimes try to get away with, categorizing it differently so they don't have to pay as
Oh,
much,
yeah.
all of that kinda
So
stuff.
is that what you specialize in aerials?
No, that's kind of a side business. So yeah, we've got I have my creative agency, and then I have a helicopter flight school, and so we kind of
No
come
way.
yeah, so we combined those and did some aerial cinematography, and now we're getting into some aerial VR stuff, which could be very interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of it's a fascinating world, and it's almost like in a way you're curating a museum and,
You are.
like, you're kinda going in and, like, what do people wanna see? What are they gonna be interested in? What are they gonna pay to use? But it is providing a great service too because, sometimes you just that perfect image that you need for that website or for
Mm.
that ad or for whatever it might be, um, and there's plenty of cheesy stock stuff out there, but to find
Oh,
something
yeah.
that feels authentic and, actually fits the narrative and the story that you're trying to tell is difficult, and when you can provide that for people, it's a really
And
great thing.
there's such a need, there's such a need. Like, if you're a digital marketing agency,
Mhm.
you don't have time to get shoots done for the most part, and it's
Right.
like, we hope to be the place people go and they just, they have the stuff they like, their boards that they keep and,
Yeah.
go to tell them.
Well, and
So we
that's
ought to license your stuff. We ought to license your aerials. Do you have a Tyler mount for a helicopter?
no, it's not a Tyler mount. The Tyler mount's the kinda side mount.
Yeah.
It's made by GSS. Originally, it was a company called Arctic Built up in, Alaska, and, yeah, but it's cool. It's so fun.
Oh, yeah.
We've done some cool shoots on that and had some fun with it, but it's an interesting industry too because, with the rise in capability of drones, um there's a lot of stuff that people used to be willing to pay for a helicopter for, they won't now. But there's still a lot of stuff that helicopters can do that drones can't do, and places that we can go, and shots we can get,
Absolutely.
and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, but the
We're
drones have filled in a nice, that stuff like that's 50 feet off the
yeah,
ground, it's filled in a really nice niche.
yeah.
I spent a lot of time in helicopters early in my career.
Mm.
We used to do a lot of work in the oil and gas world,
Oh yeah,
and so I didn't even know any different. We're always in
yeah.
helicopters going out to the Gulf of Mexico and stuff like that, or else like I remember once being in a helicopter in Irian Jaya, which is the other half of Papua New Guinea,
Wow.
and, this helicopter, these big old, um, what's it called? Hueys, like the old, n the 400s, what is it? Shit. Anyway, the big guys,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
they used to have in the military, and it was dropping us into a jungle where they were gold mining,
Mm.
and there were 2 guys standing there, like, with nose rings and spears,
Oh man.
and I looked at the pilot, and he's like, "No, no, it's okay, it's safe."
You're like, you sure?
Yeah, yeah. So,
Oh
anyway,
man.
yeah, I'm a big fan as well, big fan.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a fun. I was interviewing somebody this morning for the podcast as well, and talking just about like that ability to have fun in the things that we do and enjoy them. And when we do that, we can treat people better. We can enjoy our jobs a little better, and yeah, I don't know. Like I'm always looking for like fun's important. I think like for me, like being able to really look at what can I do? How can I use what I have to create good to add to the world instead of just take from it? It's like, well, I find that when I'm doing like not that it's always fun, not that there aren't hard times, but when I'm doing stuff that I enjoy and that I can look back and be like, that was awesome. That was really cool. Um, I'm much more likely to create things that bring joy to people's lives or that, make the add to the world instead of just take from it. What
I'm with you, look, and I do think somebody brought it up to me the other night at some dinner, about they're like, "Yeah, but you love what you do every day." I'm like, "Well, doesn't everybody?" And evidently, not everybody does,
Evidently
but
not.
I've
No.
really I mean, but it's look, you're in your own business. There
Yeah,
are good days and there are bad days,
absolutely.
but I think I would take this over,
Yeah.
a job any day. So,
And that's the thing, right? It's like and that's not for everybody, but you find what it is for you that's going to be that thing, you know? What is it
yeah.
like for you? What does that look like as far as, we're talking about creating good, we're talking about using what you have. What does that look like in your work, in your day-to-day, like where's the satisfaction for that come from?
Well, I mean, what's funny when when I saw the title of your podcast, The Creating Good, um, I don't get a lot of work from the UK.
Yeah.
And partially they say your stuff is too smiley. And I put a nice shine on stuff. I've always looked at the positive side of life,
Yeah.
and I love good, clean, whether it's design or just nice light, and people that are empowered and happy. And I've never been like the dour and dark and and I think that's kind of part of the allure of my success has been, it is joyful.
Yeah.
We create we show life in the best light,
Yeah.
and it's not like Hallmarky,
No, no,
but
no.
yet it is if you had to break it down, it's happier than
It's
it's
optimistic.
it's it's optimistic and happy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's how I can put it.
I
Yeah.
I think that it took Hollywood or the world, I don't know, to a while to figure out that
Mhm.
optimism can be done in a not cheesy way. Like it doesn't have to be Hallmark. It can be Ted Lasso, or it can be, those that
Right.
Shrinking, or these types of things where you watch it and you feel like it feels real, but it also just you feel better about life afterwards, and
Yeah.
there's
No,
something
I'm with
about
you,
that.
yeah.
I was watching yesterday.
And I think
Oh, sorry.
No, no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't know if you're familiar with the show Shrinking that's on Apple TV Plus. Harrison Ford's on it, and I think doing his best work he's ever done. But it's funny because he's famously known for being very like, people go, well, why'd you take this role? Because they paid me. Why'd you, I mean, he's very just like dry, like it's just a job. And every time he talks about his experience on this show, he starts crying. It says this is the best thing I've ever done. These people are amazing. And there was a clip yesterday of him, making a speech to the crew and that kind of thing. And you're like, this is a whole other side of this guy than anyone seems to have ever experienced before. One of this actor who's been around forever. And he seems to be like finding that other side of storytelling where it's like, oh, I can love this. It doesn't have to be just a job. And of course he's,
Yeah,
finding that in his 80s, but still
right.
like, but I
And
love that
I haven't
example.
seen Shrinking. I haven't seen, but it's on my list
Yeah.
because it didn't the guy, I think somebody just got nominated for something,
Mhm.
his cohort. Yeah, and I wanna watch it. Everybody says good things about it.
It's great. Yeah, it's really well done, and it's the same guy that the executive producer, same guy as Ted Lasso and Scrubs and some of those other
Okay.
shows, which I've
Yeah.
always been drawn to because like even when Scrubs was on the air, I was always drawn to that because it was like dealing with real world things, but with heart and with optimism and fun and I don't know. I just that find being able to make that blend and end on an optimistic note and end in a place where the world doesn't suck. I mean, I can get into a good drama with anybody, but right now, like, watching Succession is kind of a bummer. you I'm like,
Yeah, you don't wanna turn off the TV at night and wanna slash your wrists.
yeah, yeah. No, there's certain shows we'll watch, and then my wife's like, "All right, we need to watch one episode of The Office before we go to bed because I can't go to bed on that."
Exactly, exactly.
That can't
Yeah,
be the
yeah,
capper for the night.
right. No, I'm with you, I'm with you. Yeah, there's a lot of but there's some really good drama out there. There's some
Oh
great
yeah,
stuff out there, and I definitely love Succession, though. I love the dialogue
yeah,
and you question, like, was that ad-libbed or was it all scripted?
right.
There was always obviously, it had to have been a mix of the 2.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's those things. I mean, and like I said, I still love those things. I think the more our world gets so polarized, so just biting,
yeah,
the more even I can watch and go like, oh, man, I really appreciate this, and I like it. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I need that palate cleanser afterward or something because it's. I
Yeah.
mean, even
No,
like
I
like
think a smile.
you
There
go
you go.
back to
Yeah.
like The West Wing back in the 90s and early 2000s, and there still was that like optimism there. It's that just has been now politics, political drama stuff. That's
Yeah, no.
that's I can't.
We'll leave that topic for another day.
um wow. Let's see. Where we're on time here. We got a few more minutes left. What are you working on now that you're most excited about?
Ooh. Well, it's summer,
Mhm.
so we just came off of, a really great hotel resort shoot,
Oh, nice.
which was fun. It brought a lot of talent from all over the country and some really great camera work,
Yeah.
and just, I mean, that's the kind of stuff I love, in the pool and hotel rooms and hallways,
Yeah.
and so that was really fun. Um, we're always looking to do, we're about to start something for a new clothing line,
Cool.
which will be fun, kind of urban feel. Um, and always looking. We're bidding a car campaign now,
Nice.
and so my deal is it's people.
Yeah.
So as long as there are people, um, that's kind of my specialty because I like someone to talk back to me. So, never been good at it. I mean, I don't love still lives, and even car stuff. I don't love only the sheet metal stuff.
Yeah.
As long as there's people.
Yeah.
Granted, helicopter stuff usually nobody's talking back at you,
We
but
can ch
that's fun.
yeah, we can
It's
change that though.
adventure. It's adventure.
Very
I
cool.
will say recently, the one time, like, I'm fine in a helicopter, but we had a permit to shoot over Manhattan. We had 2 helicopters because I was filming from one to the other.
Yeah.
And we're going through Midtown, and we're above the other helicopter looking straight down over Times Square,
Okay.
and I'm looking at, in the camera, and for a second, I was like, "Okay, I got vertigo," and I kinda freaked out, I will say, I kinda
Yeah.
freaked out.
You can
So,
have those moments, even if you're good most of the time. Every once in a while, it sneaks up on you. Something gets you.
yeah, yeah,
It's a weird
yeah.
thing. 99% of the time, if I'm flying, I'm fine, and then all of a sudden, I'll be flying and I'm like getting airsick, and I'm the one that's flying, and I'm like, what am I? Why am I getting sick?
So you're the actual pilot?
I fly. I don't fly as much as I used to. I've got so many, a lot of things going on around here, and then I've got 5 kids at home. So, I haven't been flying as much as I used to. We've got a team of pilots that does most of that. But
You're busy.
yeah, sometimes I'll still fly stuff for fun, and yeah, I honestly I miss it a lot. I got to do some really fun aerial shoots with doing chasing trucks through the desert and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and just.
So now are you charter your stuff? Like, if we had something to shoot out in
Oh
California,
yeah,
you'd be the one to call?
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely,
cool. Okay, good to
absolutely.
know, good to know.
Yeah,
What?
there you go. Little plug for Rogue Aerials right there. Yeah, we'd love
Absolutely.
to. We love doing all that kind of stuff, and it's super fun. But well, I want to give you a chance. Is there anything else that you would want to share with the audience about you, about what you're doing, and or just philosophy on all of this?
Well, like I said, I look at the bright side of things, and obviously, the shameless plugs always. If you're a digital marketing agency, I don't know who exactly the core
Yeah,
audience is. I know you have a pretty broad
it's
audience,
a
but
mix. Yeah.
you know, we license pictures, we shoot, we do productions. Um, I have a couple books out that are on our website.
Oh,
I've done a
nice.
book just about well-known people that writing in their own hand what makes them unique as individuals.
I love that.
Um, and most recent book was a book about redheads, the myth of redheads becoming extinct, which was kind of fun. Which is kind of fun.
That's
And
awesome.
even though there's no red here, um, and so yeah, so I just love it. So if we're not shooting, we're looking for something to shoot. So
Cool.
yeah, hit
Where
me up.
what's your website?
scpictures.com.
scpictures.com. All right. And then
Yeah, and
you
then the licensing is superstock.com. I'll send
superstock.com.
it.
And then I saw something about all Canada photos.
that is an offshoot of Superstock.
Got
So
it.
another story for another time, but basically being Canadian, I was called in to rescue a Canadian agency,
Got it.
and we've so they don't like shopping in the States anymore, the Canadians. So we
I don't
now
know
have
why. Can't
a
imagine.
little geo-fenced archive up there.
Nice. Nice. Very
Yeah.
cool. Well, last question I always ask everybody is, what in your job brings you the most joy?
I gotta say, I love getting up in the morning and tackling it and just seeing what comes my way. We love production days. I love production days. I just love the fact that I'm able to do it.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. It doesn't matter how shitty a day. I
Yeah.
love the fact that I'm able to do it.
I
I
love
really
that.
do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, man, thank you so much, Stewart, for doing this. Where, aside from your website, can people find you on LinkedIn or
Totally. LinkedIn, Instagram, SC Pictures.
okay.
Attempting a little TikTok, SC Pictures. Me dancing and singing is not so good, but
I know the feeling, man. My team's always like,
yeah.
we got to do more of that. I'm like, I got to go. I got things to do.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great.
Well, thank you so much, Stewart. It's been great talking to you. Really a pleasure.
Likewise. Thanks again, Matt.
Creating Good with Matt Barnes is recorded at Rogue Collective in beautiful Newport Beach, California. It's hosted and executive produced by me, Matt Barnes. Post-production is by our amazing friends over at Fame, the B2B podcast agency. Writing is by Matt Barnes and Taylor Bolanos from Rogue Creatives. Creative direction and design is overseen by Corey Hill of Rogue Creatives. Theme music is composed and performed by Jared Atherton of Chapters. Huge thanks to our amazing guests for joining us this episode, and thank you to all of you incredible listeners for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, and I would imagine you did if you're still listening, so don't forget to help us spread some good by giving us a good review. Preferably like 5 stars, lots of really nice words. It's very helpful. Also, tell your friends and subscribe so we can come straight into your potholes each and every time we have a new episode. Take the Creating Good pledge on our website at creatinggood.co. We'll catch you next time. This has been a Rogue Creatives production.